what we are now going to call them, the countdown mock cats, are going to have the same kind of an intensity that this All India mock cat had on the 8th of August. While I do understand that some of you might have found the verbal ability hard, some find it LRDI lengthy or hard, and I have also seen some of the students saying quantitative ability is lengthy or hard. I think it all depends on the kind of preparation that you go through, the kind of commitment you give it to that 40 minutes of each of the questions. For example, in quant, if you read every question correctly, most of the questions would have been easy. So is the case, frankly, with LRDI too. But the VARC, the Immanuel Kant article, which started off the goddamn VARC, I think might have spooked a lot of people first. The other three essays, Jijo, I'm sure you will speak more about it, were a lot more easier, frankly speaking. Of course, the questions or the choices were not easy too. So welcome to this very special All India Mock Cat discussion, All India Mock Cat 3 discussion on the 8th of August, my friends. Like today, as we go along, we will conduct the mock cats, not just the All India mock cats, but any mock cats that you're going to write. 12 more to come, I think, as Raviteja would confirm. You will be given a window of Saturdays and Sundays, 2 days, with the help of, I think there are more than 1,000 participants. Ravi, I hope the YouTube link is also put up for all the students on our aspiration so that they don't miss out this session. The percentiles and all will be available in a moment. In fact,
I have shared the link in the groups for anyone who is missing out on it.
Yeah, Supratim Chakravarti has shared the link, thankfully. That's very nice. Some of you have raised your hands, friends. Satyam, Shivangi, just hold on for some more time. We will take all your questions. If you can't hear anything, it's because your audio is muted, I guess.
No, but Aks, he will not be able to hear what you just said.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely true. So how we will go about is, let me just take immediate reactions. First from Shivku sir, Gautam Puri sir, and Jijo sir, and Ravi, and then we'll take into looking at what is, I would like every one of you who are listening to us to understand that we have 112 days to go still. More than 15 weeks. To be honest with you, more than sufficient to crack CAT, even if you start at 0 percentile today. Those of you are obviously going to get a 99.99 in this particular mock. Don't slack off. There is a lot more to do. The exam is on 28th of November. But our job today is to showcase to you that, look, how did the rest of the world do? What you could have done better. Like GP sir, as I said, for him, everything is easy. We will find out how easy it is for him to make sure that the DALR can be cracked. So is the case with either Quant or VARC among the 4 or 5 of us who are there today. So GP, may I first bring you in to give your perspective of why we are doing this on Saturday, Sundays, only one day, so that it will be useful to the students.
See, end of the day, whether you like it or not, CAT, you'll have to take it like this on a given time slot. So we are just trying to replicate. Secondly, we want to do a paper every weekend to get the discipline, because we know that if you take a paper every week, do a good analysis, identify your problems, identify the gaps, and start working on them, on 28th November, you'll get a good score. So the way we look at it is 13 or 12 countdown mocks, and the 13th countdown is the actual CAT. So just get into the rhythm. End October, by end October, I think they will get their admit cards. After that, they should take the paper in their own slots. Till then, 8:30, 12:30, 4:30, the actual CAT time slots, you keep shuffling between them. My request to all students would be, every time go for a different time slot. We are giving 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, so that if on a Saturday or a Sunday you are tied up, at least you can take the paper on the other day. So please create time for this. This is very important, and we'll be there with you throughout this journey, analyzing each and every paper and explaining to you how it could have been handled.
Absolutely. Jijo, I think a lot of credit for you too to kind of make this format the way it is. Why don't you give your first few comments before I get into the actual paper itself today?
You were asking about comment about
The entire section, entire paper, not just about VARC.
Okay, so the way in which we went about in terms of designing this particular paper is to every paper should have some sort of a learning for the students, right? And there are symptoms that happens. Everything is a symptom, not a problem. Me not be able to doing LRDI, me first finding VRC easy or difficult, or me finding QA easy or difficult. So what we initially thought is to look at some sort of a design ideas that we want to create into this mock test and every single test that is going to come. Therefore, each test people can learn. That's number one. Number two is that we will also want to look at this test, not just a test. It is a thing that can actually prepare students. Therefore, which is why all of us have, you'll find that all of us taking solutions. For example, I have taken recorded the video solutions of all the test of all the VA question. GP recorded, Shivku recorded, and also you took the live attempt as well. So the idea going forward is to ensure that there are learnings that can be captured. So I'm sure that whatever is a thing that we have not been able to discuss in this particular session, the moment people go through the solutions and those videos, those also will get covered. That's the idea. So this is, to me, our in itself is a program that we want, a journey that one would kickstart from today till the CAT. And if people are with us, learns with us, and I'm sure that at the end of this journey, there'll be a lot of things that you can pick up and do well in the CAT.
Right. And a few words before we begin, because the architect of the overall mock, as well as the mocks that are going to continue to Shivku, may I request you to have a very, very quick word saying that, look, hamara idea kya hai, how we will go about doing it. Like Jijo has said, there is a learning that will happen for every mock. But if you can give the students a perspective how the next 15 weeks should be in their preparation as well as for the mocks.
Okay, so I think I always feel that every mock is a learning experience. So in this, it is also a learning experience for us, because I thought when we were finally analyzing just before the test went live, we thought that it should not be too big an issue to solve about 8 LRDI questions. But the surprise is, it's a surprise for me too, right? So from the students' perspective, we are going to create themes for every mock. Maybe some you will find LRDI is a little, I mean, if you found it tougher, there might be a few where quant might be tougher. But if you analyze every one of the mocks, I promise you that if you just do these 13 mocks and do a thorough analysis, I'm sure your scores will move up significantly. We'll try to keep the themes. We'll try to pick up the passages. We'll try to pick up LRDI sets that probably reflect what CAT could be. I think take it on the day when the exam is conducted, which means don't try to push it to a later date. So that's the only thing that I would suggest. Stick to these mocks with whatever rest of the practice you have during the intervening period in the weekend, between the 2 weekends. I think that must be for practice, right? So we will try as far as possible to shake you guys as much as possible in the next 15 weeks.
Shivku, in fact, let me tell you something. While everybody is saying that DILR is tough, and GP has of course said that it is not as tough, if you look at the CAT 2020 paper, out of the 24 questions and 5 sets, if anybody had done even 7 questions correctly, 7 questions correctly and nothing else, he would have ended up with a 95 percentile. I think very few people understand the logic, and we are committed to each one of you to make sure that this journey that you're going to start off right now, hopefully you have started off with us a while back, but the next 15 weeks, out of which will include 12 mocks, and the 13th mock, as GP sir said, will be the real CAT. We will ensure that every jolt, every emotion, every surprise, and every pleasant surprise too at the same time will be available to you in each of these 3 sections when you write these mocks, and more importantly, analyze them after the mock is over. With that, like everyone has said, let me now, Jijo, shall I go with that quick analysis of logic analysis of each of the things and how they have done? Or
Yeah, I
would you
think
want to?
that's a good. Lot of questions about when will the results come out.
The
where can I-
result will be, in fact, I have just spoke to the tech team before we started off at 7:30, my friends. It's almost on the works. We are ensuring that there are two things that we are trying to do. We will continue to do that. Not only we will give you the percentile for the number of students who have written this mock, and it has been about 3,860 odd work. At last count, I was just checking before I entered this particular session. We will also make a prediction of what will be your actual CAT percentile through our percentile predictor. Since this is a first mock where a lot of you would have written this as the first mock itself, therefore it is a little difficult to make sure that the percentile that the CAT percentile predictor is predicting and what as an expert, with our expertise, whether it is correct or not. So we are kind of making sure that that kind of a correlation is being maintained. We are checking that. But rest assured, the scores, the percentiles for this particular mock with respect to the number of people who have written this mock, and most importantly, if this were the actual CAT paper, how would your actual CAT percentile be? For example, I can give you a very broad idea. A student who would have got a 90 percentile in this mock, a person who would have got a 90 percentile in this mock would probably end up with about 94.5 in the real CAT. A student at a 99 percentile in this particular mock would probably end up at a 99.35 to 99.44 in the actual CAT exam, if this is the way you have possibly written it. So what we are trying to do, and Jijo, just to reiterate that, is that the reason why the scores are delayed is because we are trying to make sure that there is no discrepancy in what we are predicting, and of course what the experts feel from what the real score should be. So please relax a little, listen to us for the next 35-45 minutes, and by the time you go back and look at your aspiration and the CAT mock, the analysis, you would not only get your percentiles but also the video solutions. Like Jijo has said, I have actually done this attempt of this paper itself like a student. And GP sir, may I say this? The DILR was not easy, at least for me. Not that I was not able to do it. I did 4 sets. I could not, and exactly like what you did, I have not attempted the set on. I just realized it was a very long set, that kind of a section, contract set and option set. But other 4 also, every set had 2 questions or 3 questions easy, but there was always 1 question
Absolutely.
which kind of realized that I should not have spent time on. In fact, in my analysis, and we will see in the analysis itself as we will start off with each of the sections, where people have wasted their time will be very, very clear. Where they would have got their accuracy also will be very clear if I put up the analysis on front of you. Jijo, would you like to start the analysis or should I share?
You share.
मैं share कर देता हूँ. So I'm going to share the analysis with our logic, and once again, each one of you, Ravi, you too, because you have been very, very important in making this paper up and making sure that the students get it. Similarly, Shivko, Jijo, GP, please join in wherever you can. So the All India MockCat 3 logic analysis, I will start with the VARC section. There were 26 questions, and if you spend a little time looking at what is given here, and what happened in the entirety, about close to 4,000 students have written this exam in 3 slots today. And that's an extremely representative sample for the actual CAT also. This is what happened. If you notice, this part of it on green or a light green is the number of people who have attempted it. And this is the orange, or I don't know, yellow orange kind of things, is the accuracy. Komal Agarwal, you are raising your hand. Just hold on for a few minutes before you raise any questions, kind of things. But what it gives you is, what have people done? What have people done? Very clearly, the fourth RC set, the percentage of people attempting the questions is less than 50. Remember the 50% attempts? Less than 50% of the students in the country less than 50% of the students in the country attempted the fourth set. Whereas almost everybody started with the first set. It's a very interesting thing, Jijo, that the first set, in fact, you have said it in so many ways, the first set is probably the most difficult set in the way of reading itself about Kant and what he says about it, kind of thing. Not that it was difficult when you look at it, but once you read that set, some of the questions, especially the first and the third question, or first and the fourth question, were not at all difficult. A lot of people got it right because the choices were also straightforward. So I will leave it on the screen for a moment. And Jijo, if you can just now look at what was the reason why we gave these kind of sets, and also for the para jumbles, odd para jumbles, as well as the para summary sets. I think it will be a great idea.
So let me start with reading comprehension. The first passage is Immanuel Kant. The second passage is about false incrementalism. The third passage is about child development, and the fourth passage is feminist geographers. Right. So one of the things that those of you who are with me at VRC 1000 knows about Philosophy Now magazine. Okay, that is. So I had picked up that first passage from a magazine known as Philosophy Now. Actually, if you actually look at the passage is not very difficult to read. So it is just that the word Immanuel Kant was there. It was not a difficult passage to read. It is yes. So that is number one. The second thing that by design that we did was to ensure that every passage had difficult questions and easy questions. And questions where difficult or easy depends upon options only. For example, in the first passage, if somebody understood the crux of it, that everybody has got a moral duty to do something based on reason, that itself is enough to answer the four questions. So you have that as an idea. So if you look at the orange signals, and if you can count the number of percentage accuracy more than 60%, I think in the first passage you can count two of them, question number 1 and question number 4. I think that's what you can count. Second is that you can actually count probably question number 9, maybe. That's question number 9 is more than 60. Third passage, I don't know what happened, why that happened, I have no idea. Fourth passage, you can actually count question number 16, 17, 16, 17, and 18. So even in the third passage, some of the questions were manageable. I don't know why people did not do well. I don't know why CAT gives 4 passages. I have no idea. I think that CAT should give 3 passages. That ideally. People have 9 minutes to solve each of these 3 passages. 3 9s are 27. Plus, you've got 12 minutes for the VRC. I don't know why CAT gives.
You know what happened for me, and I'm just going to talk about it, is that I normally feel that I can finish a passage in 7 minutes. I started with Immanuel Kant. It was easy to understand. The first question was easy and correctly said. The second question, the choices were not easy. The third question, choices were still not easy. And I ended up spending almost 10 minutes, 9 minutes to 10 minutes on the first passage itself. I started off thinking that I want to give only about 25 minutes to my 4 RCs. Almost 40% of it is over for my first section, which is the reason why the fourth RC lots of people did not do. I suspect that could have been true for a lot of others.
I think it is very difficult on hindsight to decide which passage to pick, because at the end of the day, the questions option makes things difficult. No, passage kya hai? Option difficult kar leta hai na. So one of the things that people should have done. One of the things that people should have done is that अगर कोई question तुम्हें परेशान कर रहा है, छोड़ के आगे बढ़ो. Just leave and move on. And then I'm telling you, every single passage could have been read in 4 minutes. I think there was no pain in passages.
Reading is only 2.5, 3 minutes.
I have ensured that the passages were in such that if you spend time, you can understand all the passages, even feminist geographers passages, even child law passages, all passages where this whole thing. So 3 to 4 minutes you can read. Now the question is, can you knock off the question in 4 minutes? You cannot solve all the 5 questions. Pick up 2 questions. No, for example, if you pick up 2 questions from paragraph passage number 1, you pick up 2 questions from passage number 2, you pick up 2 questions from passage number 3, you pick up 3 questions from passage number 4. Done, over. And then you can still do it. But this is difficult thing to do. So whether you solve 3 passages, whether you solve 4 passages, one of the things that you should never do is think that I can actually solve it. Imagine this, no? People after taking the test, after going to the solution, still they can't resolve the confusion. But how will you resolve the confusion in the paper? So another thing that happens is that people read the passage fast. Kuch to hai, passage jaldi padhna hai. Eminem ho jata hai hum log. Eminem rap.
This is something you and I have been consistently saying. Do not be in a hurry to read the passage because you won't understand. You have to read it a little more slowly. Don't worry. You have to take a decision faster when you are looking at the choices, but not reading the passage so fast that you don't understand head or tail of what's happening.
Okay, let me go to VA. I think there is something that happened. Look at how many VA. You look at question number 21, you look at question number 24, 20, all these are paragraph summary questions. Okay, the paragraph summary questions were padega ek baar sab pe aana chahiye. Then you look at question number 19, that is a paragraph jumble question. Look at, for example, the percentage of people got a paragraph jumble question correct. That is close to about 33%, which is high.
Wow.
So that paragraph jumble was created that you take 3 marks. So you have question number 22 also, which is another paragraph jumble question. Say that also is pretty much close to 40%. You take 3 marks. So then you had one paragraph jumble question was slightly painful, and probably 25th also. 25th should be a paragraph jumble.
25th was an odd para jumble question. If I'm not
odd paragraph. One odd question was
one was very easy.
Very easy.
One was extremely difficult.
So one was very good. So you can actually count. You can count 4 from there. No, four questions from here, 5 questions from here. If you have done 5 questions from VA, and if you have done, for example, 7 questions of reading comprehension, that is 12. Last year, 11 questions net correct was 95 percentile. 14 questions net correct was 99 percentile last year. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, and for those of you wanting how to nail this, I have recorded solution to every single question. Right. So you actually go and watch those things that you can see me saying this. I actually predicted when I recorded the lesson. I didn't know this graph. I recorded yesterday. So I was predicting that this is what is going to happen because I knew this was the thing. So the way in which this paper was created was to give this idea that just because I read a passage, that does not mean that you jabardasti have to solve all the questions. People go like, if I don't solve a question, the passage will feel bad. No, I should solve this. But passage like, karna, please, karna. Karta hu. Idhar hi baitha hai. We just feel, why? I think, for example, you read a passage carefully, you go to the question, automatic intuition says, it is not going to happen. Our intuition says it's going to work out. And trust that intuition, put that particular question and then you go. And the other problem is that people have forgotten VA. Bhuli gaya VA. VA exists is something that people have completely forgotten. I think it's like you know how it sounds. The RC is the jagda. RC. VA is sitting and chilling. Yes, sir. Better chilling. VA is chilling, and RC is like, VA, go to VA. No. You. I want to fight with you. Go to VA. No. And I'm basically saying that there is paragraph jumble. People assume that paragraph jumble is not crackable. It is crackable. Paragraph summary is crackable. Odd sentence is crackable. Ladies and gentlemen, the thing that I wanted to showcase with this particular test is that you can crack this test. The way in which you can crack this test is to change the behavior in which you take the test. And what I want is, if you guys stick to me so some of you saying that I don't teach you. Why should I teach you? I'm teaching you through these tests, CAT, countdown tests. You stick to me for the next 12 tests. I think that I will at least give you enough masala to ensure that this journey is going to be easy for you. And at least nail it. At least that percentile that you want to get. Look at the number of people taking the test. The number of people, not many people are serious. I cannot get 2 lakh people from everywhere to come and take the test. These tests are taken by people who are goddamn serious. And I like people, we like people who are serious. And you guys stick to taking the test and learn from each of these tests. And I can guarantee you that after about 10 tests, you'll be a very different person, Aks. And this is the learning for you, is that don't get stuck in any of these questions. There were opportunity for you to pick up. It is just that you got stuck in question. You did not read the passage carefully. And all this behavior that happened is what made the difference. Aks, over to you.
Absolutely. In fact, let me just say two things that are happening. Last year, CAT students that we have who have got into the IIMs and other top institutes. And very interestingly, I don't know how many of these kids know that we, Career Launcher, also trains students for law and IPM. And every single student who has cracked the exams, the competitive exams, CLAT, of course, I don't know whether our kids know it, 9 out of the top 10 students ranks we have got this year. And we have spoken to each one of them and they said, Sunday to Sunday, consistently, they have taken mocks and analyzed them. And Jijo sir, as he is saying, I want you to understand this. We will take up DILR also and QA also. But if you do it 1 week after every week without making a mistake of skipping things, or like he says, chilling out for a VA and only thinking of RC, making sure that you consistently do for all these two, 12 weeks, 15 weeks are there. 12 weeks is more than sufficient to start really getting the 95 plus percentiles. And a lot of you will get it, is what I can say. With that, let me just get you in, GP, if I can, to look at how the DILR section was. While you said it was easy, a lot of sets. In fact, just to quickly tell you what were each of the sets. The first set was
The milk one
milk wala set. The second set
was distribution of land.
correct, the land distribution. The third one was that huge
Scheme A, Scheme B.
contract and schemes.
Yeah, Jhunjhunu Airways.
Then the ranking of that athletes and the 5
Yeah.
Olympics is going on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranking for 5 people, PQRST. And the last one is actually a Venn
Venn
diagram
diagram.
set theory. In fact, this was actually very easy if anybody had really looked at it. GP, if you can tell us how they should have gone about doing this particular section.
Yeah, Jijo, sorry, Aks, I have done the solution and recorded, and I started the thing. First, I have given an overview, which means going through the 5 sets, what is it that you should have picked up and what you should have, and how you should have decided which sets to attempt. Okay. And I have looked at it from both points of view. I have picked up my style, which is 1.5 minute per set. So that in 6 to 6 odd minutes, I can go through all the 5 sets. At the same time, I have done what you and Jijo do, which means spend 2 to 3 minutes on a set and see what you can pick up. Okay? Obviously, when you go 2 to 3 minutes, you go much deeper. Okay? So my request to all the students is please go through the overview first before you go to the solution, because the issue always is going to be, are you picking the right sets of data or not? Okay. Now when I say that this was a doable data set, you needed to pick up these right sets, but even in those sets, you had to leave questions. For example, if you look at the second set of data, there was one question which did not make sense doing at all. I think question 35, in which you had to find out in how many ways Ramesh could have given the land to his children, to one of the sons rather, right? So that was a question. If you do that question, it's going to take time. It's not worth attempting it. Okay. Similarly, Venn diagram. The first 2 questions were sitters. It is the next 2 questions which will take you time. Now, whether you want to do it or not, it's your call. But if you decide to do it, you should be willing to spend time. Scheme A, scheme B. My problem with that is not that it can't be done. My problem is I need to read that stupid story to understand what this is all about. And in the paper, I don't want to spend time. I personally don't want to spend time on anything which is going to be time consuming, and because my problem is if I spend 2 minutes and don't understand, it's a waste of time. So I will typically keep it for later and come back to it if I don't have other things to do. That also means occasionally I'll miss out on an easy set. But here the story was lengthy, contract price, other things. And the first glance, when in the overview, you'll see that it was very clear to me that at least I don't want to attempt it. To me, the paper should have been, set 1 should have been attempted by everyone. And it was a very easy distribution. 50 liters was only one way you can do 50 liters. There's only one way you can do 175 liters. Half the set is solved. After that, there was a pattern emerging. the first person would do the would give it would deposit it only on odd days. Second person only on multiples of 3. Third person not on multiples of 3. So there was a pattern which was emerging, and that is what you needed to do. You did not need to, let's say, draw that table of 1st July to 31st July. And then you go question by question. And I don't think there was any specific question which was extremely lengthy in the first set. Let me quickly go through the data, to the first set of data. Yeah, you could have chosen not to do question 31 and 32, the one which talked about the lockdown and the impact of that. But to me, that was if you had to do 31, 32, it made sense to write down from 21st July to 31st July, what would have been the normal schedule, and then do the cold storage stuff. So there you should be willing to spend time. If you say, no, I'll do it mentally, you are likely to make a mistake. So first 4 questions, look at the pattern, answer. Last 2 questions, write down the complete table, 21st to 31st July. That would be my recommendation, and go on. Similarly, when you look at the second set of data, 4 questions in that set. Let me just open the paper. Okay. The issue
you want to GP, you want to showcase, you want to present it?
I have the paper in front of me, so I can.
I will stop
that's
sharing.
For my
Yeah,
memory.
I will stop sharing. Yeah, you can share.
I can share. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just share my screen first, then. Yeah. So if you look at this particular data set, the key issue is, have you understood what this is all about? I think many people would have got confused, and this is possibly the first time they would be looking at this kind of a data. And that is why they would be confused. Otherwise, look at this. 1. The only way this can happen is this width is going to be 1. That means the height of the width, height of this particular column, row number 5 will be 1. And width of the column number 1 has to be 1. There's no other way possible. If column 1 is 1, row 1 has to be 2 width. Okay, so all I'm saying is it was a question of, do you understand this data or not? If after spending a couple of minutes you found that you don't know how this distribution is happening, a set to be left. Okay. And similarly, when you look at the third one I've already talked about, so I'll not talk about it. I'm sure set number 4 is something that everyone should have done. To me, set number 1, set number 4 were the 2 sets which should have been done come what may. These were the 2 doable sets. Okay. And third, the last set of data, first 2 questions were not a problem. Second question, you might get confused, 50% girls, maximum or minima, confusion can happen. So when I look at this paper, first set 6 questions, third set 4 questions, 10 questions, last set 2 questions, 12 questions. This is what I'm saying is what one should have done. Anything beyond this is a bonus for me as far as this paper at this stage of preparation. Again, if this discussion was happening maybe one month before CAT, I would have said you should have done 3 sets minimum, complete, and maybe half a set more. Okay. So to me, the doable sets were set 1, set 2, set 4, and set 5, half of it. So 2.5 to 3.5, depending upon your level of preparation, was the solution would be my assessment of this paper. I don't know what is Ravi's assessment of the paper, DILR.
So I would say the first set.
Ravi, you want me to keep sharing, or you want I should stop sharing?
Yeah, you can keep sharing. If you could go back to the first set of DILR.
Yeah.
Typically, when I looked at the 5 sets, I did not find any of the sets actually to be very, very difficult. But one notable point that I saw was that, people are acquainted with solving questions of set theory using Venn diagrams. People are acquainted with solving questions of arrangements. And people tend to, a lot of students I know also tend to look at arrangements and set theory for sets in the paper because they are practicing that kind of questions. While the logic of the question or the masala that is there in the question or the language of the question was not difficult for the first set, I'm afraid a lot of people would not have solved the question just because they did not spend those 3-4 minutes that they would have required to find out is about what is the exact breakup of what happened on July 1st, July 2nd, July 3rd, July 4th. Had they spent those 4 minutes, I think at least the first 4 questions in this were definitely doable. And
just to add to what Ravi is saying, this is similar to what happened in RC. we rush through the passage without understanding the passage. We try to read the passage instead of 3.5 minutes, try to do it in 3 minutes. We try to save those 30 seconds in the passage and then they get stuck in the questions. The same story is here. If you are not willing to spend time in this story, there's no point going to the questions. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second part is, like CAT, this was a paper in which you did not have to do too much of hard work. It was not that you had to make 23 cases to get to the answer. No. You understand the logic, you apply the logic, a bit of writing work will happen, but it is not excessive. Okay. Yeah, back to you, Ravi.
Yeah.
GP, I just want to add, I mean, if you have understood what can happen in the first 5 days
Yes.
and create this entire July chart, 27, 28, 29, 30 are done.
Shivku, my point is you don't even need to write 1 to 30. If I remember correctly, P deposits milk every odd days.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
Okay, you just write down, you understand the pattern. And in the worst case, you write down 1st to 31st.
But then I think you spend 4 minutes doing that or 3 minutes doing that. You get 12 marks.
Shivku, even if that takes you 7 minutes, then the 4 questions will not take you more than 2 minutes.
So it took at least 3-4 minutes, GP. While I completely agree with you that writing 1 to 31 may not be required, I ended up doing it, frankly speaking, for a simple reason that I saw that I needed, if you look at the question number 29 and question number 30, it will become that much more easy if you knew it.
No doubt.
And then 31 and 32 also becomes easy.
Yes. 31, 32, you need it. 31, 32,
Absolutely.
you need it. Okay, when I did the paper, I did not do it. For me, again, the issue again, when I look at question 30, for example, July 9th is a multiple of 3, is an odd number, and that 125 liter person will also give the money. It is very obvious. On July 14th, it's not an odd number. It is not a multiple of 3. That means those 200 liter guys are out of system. It cannot be the answer. Same thing with July 24. Multiple of 3, but not an odd number. The answer, this value cannot be more than 275. Okay, so I'm saying that the numbers are such that you can. The pattern was very beautiful, I would say.
Now, what we need to learn, I mean, one thing, GP, what I think every student should learn, and they will see such similar, not similar as similar, but something variation of these kind of sets, saying that you don't really, correctly you said, though Shivko and I think that 1 to 31 you can write out, but understanding the pattern, this is not just the pattern. Any number of sets are there in DI, you will see as you go along, even in the original CAT papers, it is the pattern that you need to identify.
Yes.
Once you identify the pattern, the answer will be like in a jiffy.
Yes. So Aks, just to clarify, I'm not saying you should not write down the pattern. I'm saying if you can do it without the pattern, you will take 2 minutes less. If you need to write down the entire pattern, you'll take a minute or 2 minutes extra. That's the only difference. So if you want to be sure and want to write down 1 to 31, perfectly fine. To me, 21 to 31st July has to be written. Before that, it's an option you can exercise.
But I think if you take that extra 1 minute to write down the pattern, and you can ensure that you're going to get the correct answer for 2 questions, it is worth its weight in gold.
That's
Definitely.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I think we should move on from here. There's a difference of opinion, and all of us are okay. All I'm saying is do what works for you.
Yeah.
But if you are willing to write the pattern, please don't rush through it. Don't make it a scribble. Write it down neatly. Make a proper table, and then write it down. Don't make it that I'll just scribble something, then you will get everything wrong.
Right. So if I can just go back to the thing, what about the next ones? If you can just tell us,
Sure.
GP.
Second set. See, second set of data. Okay, I'll leave it to Ravi. Yeah, Ravi.
So for the second set, had they understood that it is a set of parallel lines and the distance between the parallel lines for those set of parallel lines is going to remain the same. The rectangular patches are along the rows, the breadth will be equal for all of them. And along the columns, the length will be equal for all of them. Had that logic been cracked in the first couple of minutes in the set, then I think there was not a lot of thing in the setup as well, because it would have hardly taken, one would have hardly taken 2 minutes to read the set. And even one more minute, let us say, to understand what is going to happen, then yes, you could have.
But I would say, like I did understood the set, 33, 34 was easy.
Yeah.
But trust me, 35 and 36 will take time. If you look at, if you just scroll down, understand 36 itself will take time.
35 should definitely not be attempted.
Correct.
36 should be attempted if you have time.
Problem,
okay, I'll tell you why.
Question.
35 has close choices. And
Right.
whichever way you look at it, there's a chance of missing. And then how many cases can you make with so many different numbers? Okay, that is one part. So not to be attempted. 36, had it been choices, I would have been happier doing it. Because when I solved it, I am not 100% sure that I've got the right answer. Okay, but it's a chance I will take. So 36, I might even say, write any number between 0 and 5 and move on. Don't waste time and do the remaining, go on to the next question. So the way I would look at first set, you can do definitely 4 out of 6 or even 6 out of 6. Second set, you should definitely be able to do 33 and 34. The remaining, if you want to leave, is not an issue. 2 questions here, 4 questions in the first set, 2 questions in the last set. That itself gives you 10 questions. 10 questions in CAT 2020 was about 98 percentile. No, not 90. Yeah, about 97 percentile.
Correct. In fact, just some of them are asking for this particular question. What we start off. Okay, I was trying to get control of it. GP, if you can just show that this is like, for example, this part of it, 1 is 1 into 1, and therefore this has to be 1 into 2.
Yes. Let me connect my tablet. I have disconnected my tablet.
Okay. If you can just, this is a very interesting question. That's why.
What you can do is you can move to the next. We can move to the next set while I connect my tablet, and we can discuss the other. Okay.
Yeah, third set. Frankly, I did not have time to read it. I haven't read it even today. So, Ravi, if you can speak about it, or GP can. I haven't read it. 2 reasons why I did not read it, and this is because I was attempting the paper. A, it was lengthy. Then every question also was lengthy. 37, 38, and I said, "Yaar, ye nahi karna hai mujhe." Not because I don't know why it was easy or difficult. I don't know, because I didn't even read this for a simple thing. But probably the logic was not difficult on the face of it. Ravi.
Yeah. So the third set, even my first impression was that not a lot of people are going to attempt this set, because I personally would not have wanted to enroll to any of these schemes. So I just decided कि भैया ये तो बहुत लंबा दिख रहा है. But I then read the question and tried to understand कि अच्छा हो क्या सकता है. So if you read the question, it is saying that how much can Madan Tour and Travels make on this deal? Right? What was the profit he can do? So I got an idea. Okay, this may be probably a profit loss set. If I understand the ground rules, if I give some time to the set, if I understand the ground rules, I am good at profit loss. I will be able to solve the question. At least the first 2 questions were easily doable, but one would have taken a lot of time to even do the first 2 questions. Going to the third and fourth questions, again, this was the third and fourth question were also not very different from the way the first and second question are in that sense. But had I taken the paper live, I would have probably left the set, or had I gone ahead and ventured solving the set, then I would have only solved probably a couple of questions in this. And
here is what I would say.
Definitely not 40 to 42.
Here is what I would say. Why? Here is what I would say. Why attempting this was not the easiest thing to do, because there was this ranking set, which is your 4th set. In fact, that is the set I started with. There is a Venn diagram set theory.
Jijo, I'm just unsharing. I'm unsharing and resharing in a minute.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
The set 1 was also easy or not very difficult. So when you have 3 sets and the logic of the second set, if you could understand, I think in a given, and somebody has mentioned it correctly, one of the students, that it was only 40 minutes, remember, that we have. And therefore, 4 sets would have been good enough. GP.
Yeah, exactly. To me, third set is not a set which should be attempted, for the simple reason this is a set in which you need to spend time to understand. Only after you understand will you be able to say what has to be done. And it's a long story with some new concepts given. It can be an issue. Okay. It can be a problem. Okay. Let me just open this particular. Okay. Okay, let me just share now. Okay, let me share my screen.
Arvind is saying comprehension itself takes time, sir. Yes, I think if you get the comprehension, if you comprehend that set, all the questions are of same logic.
Which is exactly what we are saying, Shivku, and I think Jijo also talked about it in VARC. Every mock, analysis of the mock, understanding of every set, even those sets which you have not solved, including the third one, which most of you have not solved, will ensure that when in CAT, if anything similar of this kind of a set comes, they will crack it like this.
Arcs, this is the set. Now what does it say? Each of the patch.
We are not able to see the thing.
You're not able to see the screen.
We're able to see the screen, but not the PDF set.
The PDF is not open.
PDF. Okay. I'm surprised. Let me just do a complete screen share. Now are you?
Yeah.
Can you see the PDF also?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Arcs, if you look at, this is the area of each of the patches. Okay. And these are parallel lines. So when I look at this one, this means this is 1 by 1. This is 1 into 1. This width is equal to 1 and this width is equal to 1. So if the width of this particular column is 1, that means this should be 2 because this is 2 into 1. These are all integers, remember. This is 4. So it is 2 into 2. So if this is 2, this should also be 2. Okay. Similarly, if you look at if this is 2 and this is 12, since this width is equal to 2, this should be equal to 2 into 6, 12.
6 into
If since this is 30, column 3 will be 5. Okay. Similarly, if this column is 5, this is 15, this should be 3. Since this is 3, this is 45, this should be 15. You have done the entire thing. And now look at the questions. There are a couple of questions which are absolutely straightforward.
M is clearly 1 into 15.
This is not a problem. This is not a problem. Skip this, skip this. This definitely not worth attempting from my point of view. Though in the solution I have solved it, I have also said this is not a question which is worth attempting in the paper. And this question again, solvable, but will take time. So this is a question you should be leaving. This is a question which will take time. To me, if I was taking the paper, I would say, okay, the answer is not unlikely to be 0. Okay,
absolutely.
92 into 4, 368. Even if someone loses 1 acre, 2 acre, the answer will be somewhere between 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. Just take a chance, put any number and move on. Okay. So in this set, you should be doing 2 questions definitely. 35th should be left. 36 is a choice you have to make whether it is solvable. But being a theta, no choices, you'll always be wondering whether I have got the right value or not. But 2 questions will not take time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
okay, we have discussed this one, and as I said, to me, this reading the entire story, understanding it takes time. And in the solution, this solution has taken me almost 30 minutes. 6 questions, 30 minutes. The other sets have taken about 15 minutes or in terms of recording the video for solution. Okay. Okay. And then when you look at the next set, okay, I thought this would be doable by everyone. Okay, I don't know what's the status for others. Yeah, Ravi, what is your opinion on this one?
This is a normal arrangement set. I would say just had to arrange people into a matrix of a 5 by 5 matrix. I think should not have been a very lengthy job. Also because there were not many points to be considered, only 7 points to be considered. And it was only a ranking based set. I think this was a doable set, definitely. This is the kind of set that, could have fetched easily 12 marks easily within a period of 10 to 11 minutes max.
Yeah. P, Q, R, S, T.
See, I have a different take on this. I have a different take on this. While the set is doable, Ravi, we need to also understand that, yes, it can be done. If you look at all the 5 sets, and I'm saying it from a student's perspective, the first set is without great concept as such. It's a simpler concept. I mean, if you understood it. Second one, if you didn't understand the concept, most of them would not have, it would have been gone. The third one is a very lengthy set. This set, while it is not difficult, it is not easy either, because there are two problems. One is you're talking about PQRST, and we talked about ABCD being the 5 different countries. Thankfully, it will come down easily once you kind of look at a little bit of a guesswork. And you will see that, okay, if C is your R and automatically everything falls into it properly. In an exam kind of a scenario, that kind of speed at which you do it, you can make a mistake. And that is where I'm saying, while it is, I mean, if you look at CAT.
My question is, set 1, how much time will it take you?
For 4 questions, it will not take you more than 7-8 minutes.
Let me say set 1, 10 minutes.
Maximum is 10 minutes, correct.
Let's take, are you saying 7 minutes? I'm taking 10 minutes.
No, 7 for 3 to 4 questions, not all the 6 questions.
Okay, 6 questions, 12 minutes.
Yeah, if you do all the 6 questions, it will be 12 to 13 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes.
12 minutes, okay. Set 2, you will leave.
You will read for 2-3 minutes.
You will
3
take
minutes
2
maybe.
minutes, 2-3 minutes and leave.
Correct.
Right? Set 3,
you
will
read.
possibly not even read and you'll leave it. But let me put 1 minute and then leave. Okay.
Correct.
Set 4, how much time will it take to solve completely?
So this is again 10 minutes, it can solve properly.
Okay, let me take 12 minutes again. We are 12, 3, 15, 16, 28 minutes. My point is, have you wasted time? So the students who are saying it was tough, it was lengthy, the question to be asked, where did you waste time? Did you waste too much time in set number 2, or did you try to read a lot in set number 3 and try to understand it, and hence you did not have time? Okay. So to me, even if you have done set number 1 and set number 4 in 40 minutes, you have got 10 questions done. Okay. And now when I go to set number 5, I'm saying do only 2 questions. So my basic issue is set 1, set 4, set 5. And even if you do 2 questions, set 5, you can do 2.5 sets in 40 minutes. I am not expecting anyone to do more than 3 sets or 3.5 sets in 40 minutes.
So shall I go back to the actual analysis, GP?
Yeah, please.
Once again.
I'll just stop sharing.
Yeah. So if you look at, I hope all of you can see the analysis once again. If you look at the analysis once again, very clearly across the country, the first set, most people have at least tried solving it. The 4th set, again, most people tried solving it. And the 5th set, at least 1 question, people tried solving it. What it shows is that, like the actual CAT exam, don't worry about not being able to solve everything. It is okay that even in 12 minutes, you would have got only 2 questions correct or 3 questions correct. But as long as you have got it, move on. One thing which I have always believed in, and while there are, you can spend 15 minutes per set and try to get all of them right. My logic has always been over the last so many years that after the 10th minute, like GP sir is saying 10, 12 minutes, once you have decided that 10th minute or the 12th minute is over and you have not solved it, for whatever reasons, let's say you have not solved all the 6 questions, just keep moving into the next one. Don't waste your time after that more. Would you agree that, GP?
I would go a step further and say, if 5 minutes you don't know what is happening to you, you should leave the set. 10 minutes is too long a time in a 40-minute paper. Second thing, some people are saying 5 minutes go in scanning, absolutely right. But please remember, we talked about 2 sets in something like 25 to 30 minutes. So in 40 minutes, if you have done 2 sets correctly, even then you are fine. I'm again repeating, CAT 2020, 10 questions were attempt with maybe 9 correct or 27, 28 marks for something like a 97 plus percentile. So we need to be clear about the context in which we are working. Secondly, like CAT, this was not a paper in which you had to make multiple cases and then write down lots of stuff. If you understood, you will be able to do it without too much of thing. If you don't understand, you will only waste time and nothing else. The key question is, where did you waste time in the paper? And what I'm glad is that most people have chosen the right sets. Set 1, set 4, and set 5 were the right sets to attempt. So when I look at this graph, to me, that is one very big positive, that people are by and large choosing the right sets of data. But the people who have gone for set number 3 need to ask themselves, was it worth it or not? For some, it might be. For some, it might not be worth it. Set number 5, people who have gone for the last 2 questions, again, look at the accuracy, not only the, look at the attempt rate. Well, question 49 accuracy is fairly high. Some people are asking, how is accuracy higher than the attempt? accuracy out of the people who attempted. So if 70% people attempted, and out of those 70%, 80% got it right, that means 56% of the population.
तो percentages का फंडा
हाँ, ये percentage की क्लास लेनी पड़ेगी फिर से.
LRDA का question 3 है वो last set का.
ठीक है. So Prashant, if a scanning paper did not help you, then the way you scanned the paper is an issue. Please go through the overview of this paper, of the DILR section, which I have uploaded and which I have recorded, and I guess it has been uploaded also. So before you go to the solution, go to the overview.
Correct. So just to answer that to Shivku and everybody else, if for this particular question, this 49th, for example, 49th question, only 10% of them have attempted. If 100 people have written the exam, only 10 people attempted it. And of this 10, only 4 got it right. It's like 4%. It's a very pathetic question to attempt, and correctly so, GP. And the last one is even worse in that sense. Fine. Shall we go to the next one? Next set? Quantitative ability, Shivku?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this is quant. I think if people can look at again attempt and accuracy. Once again, if you notice, there is not a single question that more than 50% of the students have attempted, which clearly means that both on the DILR side and the quant side, people are still afraid. Not everybody is comfortable in any one question, at least, kind of things. Shivku, your analysis on quant.
So I feel in this quant, at least 8 to 10 questions should have been done, right? And in fact, we also see that the average scores of people who have attempted high is pretty good. So I'm just wondering whether to share the
You can.
PPT or not, because I think a lot of people wouldn't have solved it. So I'll quickly run through the questions that I think should be done. So let me just give me the sharing. Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
Sure.
So let me quickly go through this. This is the one जहाँ पे मुझे सोचना पड़ेगा.
शिवको इसको full screen कर लेगा presentation mode.
अच्छा, एक second. So ये वाला question 1 था. I mean, if you think that ये बहुत tough है, छोड़ दो.
नहीं शिवको मैं बीच में से एक्सपर्ट कमेंट देता जाऊं साथ में.
जी अभी हाँ, तो I'll come to that. ठीक है.
We'll come to that later.
हाँ, जो मैं absolutely familiar, जहाँ पे तुमको सोचना ना पड़े, right? So this is a standard percentages question. So let's count this. This is one question. This is a second question. Simple grid. You draw a 6x6 grid. You will figure out what to do. This is second question. Standard TSD question 3. I mean, this question doesn't need any thinking. I mean, even if I say that I just skip karta hu, people think this is a permutation combination question. It's not. It's simple how numbers are formed. So even if I skip this question, many people would have done a mistake. I know, right? Again, a question where a lot of people would have done a mistake. This question is a standard time and work question, four questions. Here, there are people who are likely to have misled and done mistake. Simple geometry, straightforward. इसमें कुछ सोचना ही नहीं है. You take a square and solve the problem, you'll get the answer. You say that this takes a little time, skip it. Otherwise, it's a standard quadratic, solving a quadratic equation. 6. You might say that, let me skip this, मुझे idea नहीं आ रहा है. Standard P is equal to Q is equal to 0.5 लगा दो, right? And then find out which is the nearest integer. And profit and loss, it doesn't, I mean, actually, I doubt if everybody would have done this. Some people would have got stuck here. So the coordinates of this, if you're basics of coordinate geometry, this is simple logical stuff. Geometry, जिसको cosine rule नहीं दिखता है वो नहीं कर सकता है. ये आराम से हो जाएगा. ये छोड़ दो. ये भी छोड़ दो अगर लगता है कि नहीं हो सकता है. In fact, इसमें बहुत simple है. There must be the difference between the two sides has to be 8 because this difference is 8. So there's only one choice that gives you 8. So that should be the answer. But anyway, that is if you know properties of triangles. Skip this. This is a tricky question. This is a straightforward question. This is a straightforward question. And this is so I think there are about 8 to 9 questions, Joe. Anybody could have. I mean, I think it should have been easily doable. Good guys, in my guess, would have attempted about 15 to 16 questions in this. So that's what I feel it's about. And I feel looking at the attempts, I'm stopping.
I will go back to that attempts.
Go back to that.
I will show the attempts. In fact, you will see the same thing that you have talked about. See, if you look at it, the percentage attempts, let's say 50% or 45 plus percent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 almost, and probably 8. So 8 questions maximum people have attempted. But interestingly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 questions where more than 50% of the students have got it correct, which means it was easy too if they have attempted that question.
Yeah, so I think this I feel is very close to your CAT 2020 probably.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I would actually look at. I would want to go a little deeper and look at how people have fared in terms of this course. But when we created the paper, or I thought my personal view was about 10 to 12 would be a good attempt in LRDI. It would be a very good attempt, right? I thought 8 sabka ho jayega. That was my personal view. 8 to 9 sabka ho jayega. And I thought 11 to 12 quant mein, a lot of people will be able to do it. Probably the pressure of LRDI must have definitely carried over to quant, and hence it's a shade lower than what I expected it would be. That's it, Aks.
Very good. In fact, I'm seeing this question. I also didn't get it. 71st. I don't know what this question is. I think that FFX ka thing. Some people attempted it randomly, I guess, but nobody got it right also.
Yeah.
He's almost a 0%. So here is what I would say, guys. One way to look at quant, and there are 2 ways we keep talking about how to attempt a quant exam. If there are 40 minutes, how would you go about doing this 40 minutes? This paper, to my mind, when I was going through, if your fundamentals are good, if your basic fundamentals are good, you will crack it. If you try to, again, I will go back to what Jijo said on a VARC, and Jijo, you should probably come back and talk about QA also, is don't be in a hurry to read the question. I think what happens with people is people are in a, I don't know for what reason, they're in a major hurry to read a question. In quant, spend a little time reading a question. In fact, I have done every question, I try to make a diagram for myself. The moment I make a diagram or some kind of a number, then I'll take a decision in 30 seconds. Do I want to continue or not continue? And if your concepts are good, and trust me, Shivku, you are absolutely correct about it. It's a very similar CAT 2020 paper, where if your concepts are good, people would score more than even 17, 18 questions to get a comfortable 99.9. And remember, only 13 questions or 14 questions out of the 26, net 14 was 99 percentile, even in CAT 2020, despite not too many questions were being difficult. I think what is happening is 40 minutes.
I have a small difference of opinion. There were at least 6 or 7 questions where you did not need to have knowledge. You could have used the choices, you could have substituted numbers, and you would have got the answers. Okay. So to me, when you say concepts required, knowledge acha hai, basics clear hai, to me, choices सामने दिख रहा था. There were questions, the couple of, in fact, if you can just share the paper.
एक second, GP मैं share कर रहा हूँ.
एक बार I'll just talk about not too many, 3-4 questions only. And then what I will do is I'll create another video about with these 10 odd questions, which I think could have been solved. Okay. Yeah. Shivku, just go to the first slide.
Sorry, 1 second.
In fact, GP, the first one itself, x is equal to 1, x is equal to -1, you will get your answer.
Yeah, correct.
Most
likely it will be x is equal to 1 or x is equal to -1.
See, the moment you put x equal to 0 is ruled out. X equal to 1 gives you the answer. The moment you go to x equal to 2, the numerator will increase by a greater number than the denominator. It will be more than 13 by 12. So yeah, I don't need to check for more than x equal to 2. Next, I need to check for x equal to -1. X equal to -2 again will not give me. So X equal to 1 and -1 will give me the answer. It very clearly says how many integers. I would be worried about if it said how many numbers. Okay, so to me, this is what is required. I don't know what knowledge is required on this. Shivku, can you go to the next question?
GP, before you go to the next question, I just go back to this. I'll tell you what happened for a lot of people. If you notice, people have attempted this question, but they got it wrong. And most of them would have put X
Mark
equal to
2.
1 and got it correct.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
the answer
equal
is
to
2
minus-
because they would have
minus 1.
missed out -1. In
Yeah.
fact, this is a very interesting thing, GP, that you have made a mistake in this particular paper. Next time, don't make a mistake.
Yeah. So
Remember
the
this, that X is equal to 1 and X is equal to -1 is also available.
So what Gijo had said, what is the learnings from this paper? This is a
Correct.
question you should be revising. This question was straightforward, Shivku, the second question. I think as long as you work in amount, because you're talking about amount, if you work in percentages, you will complicate the issue. Work in 375 ml,
375 and
50 ml,
absolutely right.
400 ml, your life will be simpler.
Yeah.
Because it is talking about the ratio of amount. So work on amount. Okay. Next one, there are a couple of more. Yeah, that great question, Shivku. Now, when I started doing this, the moment you do the first 2 rows of the grid, third
Bas,
row
okay,
will be the same
replicate.
as, yes, first will be first, third, fifth will be the same, second, fourth, sixth will be the same. So I don't need to make what is it, say the complete grid.
This was actually a sitter.
Just be willing to make that table. So that is 9 into 3, if I remember correctly. First 2 gave me 9, then 18, 27. Okay. So
इसमें GP ये भी बोल सकता है कि see 1 and 4 are ridiculous, right?
yeah,
If there is a choice, it has to be between 2 and 3,
absolutely.
right? And 27 gives you 3/4 of 36. That can
Yeah.
be the only answer.
That can be the only answer. That
26
not
is a very
strike me.
odd
I may-
number.
Yeah, I made the table. I made the grid. Did row 1 and row 2, and then it became obvious that first, third, fifth will be same. Second, fourth, sixth. End of the story. But what you're saying now makes it even shorter.
I would have taken a wild guess. If I have to take wild guess, the way in which the question is set, the answer seems to be multiple of 3.
Absolutely.
And then why would somebody put answer choice number 3? Is because people is going to make the mistake between 27 and 26. So answer is 27. This is my crazy sort of gut feeling answer.
Gijo, it's not crazy. This is logic. That's the way. Okay, there's a standard question. We can leave this one. Okay, this one again, I'll say we can move on. Okay, this we have already discussed. Just go further. I think this is also okay. Okay, the previous one. To me, this was a question which, again, look at this. Look at this. Aman takes 60 points. Here I'm going the way Gijo discussed the question. I did exactly what Gijo said out here. 60% more time than Deepak. That means if Deepak does 5 days, Aman will take 8 days. That means choice 1 and 2 are most probably Aman and Deepak. Please solve the question and get the answer as 20. That is exactly what I did in this question. Okay.
Right.
So why in this kind of a question there will always be one choice of Aman, one of Deepak, one of Hira, and one of all of them possibly. Okay. So to me this was a straightforward question. And I remember a couple of years ago in CAT there was a question 5% and 1/20. I simply took the okay. We'll talk about that question some other time. Okay, this is fine. Okay, hold on. Chipu.
Square ले लिया.
Well,
Well,
स्क्वायर बनाओ ना पहले क्वाड्रिलैटरल का क्या मतलब है स्क्वायर होता है क्वाड्रिलैटरल so do it with the help of if it is true for all quadrilateral it will be correct for square also so use a square
Yeah.
Okay, so which is okay this one I did something in this let me try to recollect what I did in this question one root let me recollect okay
GP तुम्हारे methods उसमें add कर देना solution.
okay, man. What I'll do is I'll record a few of these questions, the one which I have done these kind of things. I'll record and I'll share along with this.
Yeah.
Okay, just go to a couple of other. Okay. आगे वाला आगे चलो शिवको में कोई हाँ ये वाला तो ठीक था एकदम. Okay. हाँ ये 5:6. Take 50/60. Your answer has to be look at 60 से discount percentage 16.66% से नीचे थोड़ा जाओगे. From 60, your answer can only be has to be less than 16%. 2% choice 2 yoga answers. Okay, because 10% beyond 50 is 55, 16% you'll get the okay. Yeah. Okay, whatever that was. Okay, this one okay. Yeah, so that's I think there were a couple of other questions which were there, but by and large,
This one question is there. In fact, just go to that logic. What I used your method, GP. I'll tell you which one. Next one. Next. Go to that x to the power wala.
अच्छा.
वो मैं देखा बोला यार 16 ही दिखना चाहिए.
हाँ,
x is equal to 16
हाँ,
में ट्राई करूंगा.
एकदम
आ गया.
इसमें जीजो sorry asks your answer has to be a power of 2.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, in the worst case you start doing 2 to power 1, 2 to power 2, 2 to power 3, 2 to power 4 में आंसर मिल ही जाएगा.
Correct.
So this has to be and don't start with 2 to power 1, start with the middle number 2 to power 4 or 2 to power 3 or 2 to power 2. Okay, so this was a substitution question to me. This is not a logs question, this is a substitution question.
Right.
Yeah, और कुछ था? Okay, this one नहीं. This was standard question. Okay, this one was okay. Yeah, essentially this Shivku. So to my point is there are at least 7-8 questions which can be solved using Jugaad or smart contractors, H299, whatever you want to call it. But this is what I say important in the paper.
All right. Okay, Jijo, your comments on quant and this thing, because you only spoke on VARC and nothing else.
Yeah. I knew that there'll be enough Magajbari with DLR and everybody was silent with VRC. So the only thing that I want to talk about with respect to DLR and the VRC is that we become a different beast in the examination hall. I don't know what happens. If these questions were given to students saying that this is a topic test, each passage, aram se people will solve. I'm also telling you if this question was given in the screen of a class and said give 8 minutes to solve, people will solve a DLR set. Something happens in the mock, and I think that has got to do with people's behavior in mock. The first thing that you guys should do is mock leke you will not get a call to IIM. This is a test for you to learn. It is a learning tool. Don't attach any value to it beyond that. Other thing that you have to look at is after the mock test, already I have seen somebody got 70 percentile and emoji aa gaya. You should not have attach any emotion to it. Happy, sad, nothing. What you have to do is chupchap, do a meticulous process, do the analysis. So one student was saying, GP, is that how to do analysis, what is there in the web, our analysis page, how to do drill down. I think we must do a video on
we do that also.
We do
as to what learnings you need to pick out from each of those.
How to do those analysis. I think that's something that we should open and do it. So yeah.
At 106, it is 99.75 percentile.
Predicted or actual?
No. ये तो original CL percentile है. आ गया है. One of my students is sent to me. At 52, it is 99.2 percentile for VARC. But here is interesting actually. With 4 questions in DI, that is 12 marks, 86 percentile.
So one complete set would have got to 90 percentile.
Absolutely.
If you actually look at the actual CAT, 6 questions would have got you that.
Exactly.
So the only difference between this and the CAT is probably
level
one out to one a question.
No, Jijo, this is 3 months before CAT.
This is 3 months before CAT, right? So this is SAE CAT. I think the why. Who scored 198?
There is one guy who scored 198. I don't know who. We'll figure it out, guys. Deep, don't worry.
वो javelin throw वाला story है शायद. बहुत दूर फेंक दिया.
नीरज चोपड़ा हो गया अपना.
Right. I think
I hope he's taken the paper himself and for himself and not to showcase his results to others and done some copying and other stuff.
Right. So, Jijo, just 2 points I want to make, and then I'll give it back to you. 2 things, friends, like Jijo sir is saying, that you need to, use every mock, everything that we give you as a tool. We have recorded each of the questions for the entire paper. That is number 1. Second, the other thing that we have done also is the video attempt. Meaning, how would one person, like, let's say in this particular case, ARCS, in the next one, it could be Jijo, then it could be Shivku or a Ravi or a GP sir. Each one of us will also make the attempt, so that, like GP sir was saying, I normally don't look at all the 5 sets of DI before I start off the DI set. I look at it in 1 minute and then take a decision based on familiarity. Somebody else will do it in a different manner. You will figure out, and this is what you need to do, experiment, at least in the next 1.5 months. Various mocks that you're going to write, experiment, figure out what is really, really helping you. and that is when you will improve your overall scores at the end of November 28th. Jijo, now.
Before 16 LRD, I'm not surprised if this. I mean, there could be a genuine guy who has got 60.
Shivku, to me, DILR, as I said, if you get the logic of second set, for between first two sets, you can easily get 10 questions right.
Yeah.
And if you do the fencing show that Olympic set, another 4 questions, or alternately the Venn diagram, another 4 questions. So 6-4-4 was doable to me in this paper.
You can go to IIM with 60 marks. You can also go to IIM with 35 marks also.
Yes.
The important thing is to go to IIM. तो रो के जाएंगे ना public. So why are you bothered? किसी को 60 मिला, मिलने देना उसको यार. I think
वो उसका problem है.
उसका problem है. So I think some people are asking some question in terms of where to find the. So once you click on analysis, there are a lot of these tabs that you find. If one of the tab is video solution tab, you can find that. So first thing first, I want to tell you, I think there is no need to feel bad about what the score is. I think you missed the complete point of mock test. The test is a learning tool. If you feel bad, you will not take the next one. If you feel bad, you think that I have to finish syllabus, sort of whatever that is, and then go take the test. And I think what you should do is that you have taken a test. This test you have taken under time pressure. And not do what GP's dog is doing, piche. Don't keep fighting. Like,
you want to see that?
Yeah.
2 dogs.
So these are GP's adopted dogs, right, GP? These are.
Yeah, we can only adopt dogs.
Adopt only.
we can't give birth to dogs.
Careful.
God. Okay.
These dogs have been adopted by my daughter.
Okay. The point that I was making is that I missed the point. Okay. So my point is about you have taken the test under time pressure. पहला चीज आपको करना है, redo the questions. Once you redo the question, you will know your औकात. What is your score? How much you could have got? And then realize what is the gap. For example, from the score that you could have got, are you almost close to your target score? If not, there is some knowledge, competence gap that you have to fill. And most of the cases, I'm guessing, and all of you can tell me yes. After the test, you go back and say, what did I do? Why did I miss this? What am I doing this? How did I do this right? How did I do that? So I think most of the time, if you kind of look at, if you want to change the behavior in the test, if you want to change the behavior in the test, you should do the analysis in the test. If you don't redo all the questions, how will you know what mistake you made? So there is nothing to feel bad. There's nothing to feel bad. I know people who have, if you have started at whatever percentile, people can move. It's about, so to talk about the cat countdown cats that we decided. So it is a mock test only. The thing that we are doing is that we are doing that. So the first thing that you should do before you watch the video solution, redo yourself. Ye pehla cheez. The first is redoing all the questions. And the next thing that you should do is watch the solution, watch the video if you want to. If you should watch the video, it's going to take some time. So each mock test is you will have to spend close to about 6 to 8 hours in the beginning, 8 ghanta. And then that is where your learning happens. You will pick up a lot of things in one, and then you implement in the next one, and then you implement. Where can we find predicted percentile? Your predicted percentile for the cat is 99.99. Bas, vaiye. That is going to be predicted percentile. Somebody's where can we find predicted percentile?
It is there immediately.
There. Okay, on
the top, you will get CL percentile. Immediately next is the cat predictor percentile.
I'll share the screen and show.
Yeah. In fact, that will be right, Zavi.
Yeah.
Because
So whatever
confusion, only loco, they are looking for solutions, video solutions, and predicted percentiles.
Click on the mock test and go to the cat mock analysis. You can find the All India Open Mock Cat 3 analysis. You click on view analysis. There will be a pop-up window. Don't block pop-ups in your.
तेरे को 2 मार्क ही मिला VRC में. What did
मैं ऐसे attempt किया था. And here there is a tab called video item/solution. This is where you can find the attempts of VRC and LRDI and quant by ARCS, and overview of passage and the entire verbal RC solutions by Jijo. And then you can find the overview by GP and all the solutions to DILR by GP, and a couple of them I have also recorded. And the remaining are quant solutions that are done by Shivku sir.
Individual questions.
Yeah.
Acha, individual questions, I hope you should give it next to the questions also. We'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So where is the predicted
Second May.
Ravi, फिर से दिखा दो. I think students have missed the percentile and predict. Just share it again and.
Yeah. So if you click on the view analysis, the first line, it's
First line is
highlight.
real mock. Your predicted CAT 2021 is.
Your predicted percentile based on your performance in this mock is 98.68.
2 marks से तुमको 98.68 मिला.
नहीं overall में 80 है ना.
नहीं overall.
DLR और quant अच्छा था ना sir?
अच्छा बराबर है तेरा DLR.
Okay.
So I think two three requests. One, everybody has a request GP to do your jugaad, GP's jugaad.
Okay.
Right, and that will be very useful. And in fact, we are having a session where all of you are welcome. Race to 99.
Yeah.
That is a session that we are doing, which is a session that
On 14th and 21st.
One other thing that I want to talk about, why predicted percentile important. See, actually, percentile is not a score. Percentile is a rank. It merely tells you where you are with respect to the people who have taken the test. So what is basically you need to understand, you just focus on the scores. I think there is GP's YouTube channel, GP ka Cat
Funda.
GP
ka
go
Cat
there.
Funda.
In that we have GP and me have done a video on CAT percentile versus scores, and we have done a detailed analysis of that as well. So please go watch that. What you have to look at is what percentile you get, and there we have got showcase distribution and everything. GP is a grandmaster in finding shortcut to CAT. Well,
Absolutely true.
Question setter goes, I can't create questions like this. GP ka CAT Funda is the just search Google GP ka CAT Funda, you'll find that.
Right.
Okay.
I think we'll kind of wind it up, guys. I think it's been a long day for students also writing this, but we will promise them one thing, like we have done. We will come back to you with great mocks, mock discussions, and next mock discussions need not be with all of us, maybe one or two of us, taking you through how to actually get that 99.5 plus percentile or 99.9 plus percentile also, even if you are starting with some 30s, 40s, 50s kind of things. All that I have to say is, friends, we have enough time, 100 plus days to go yet. I keep saying this again and again so that you don't miss this out. 100 plus days, magic can happen provided you are consistent. Whether GP's shortcut fundas will work, VARC thousands, ideas that Jijo continues to say, or any of the classes that we look at, or when Shivku kinds of comes out with your brilliant mocks, with each mock having a different kind of a theme, what we are addressing is your requirement as far as the CAT 2021 is concerned. And Ravi has been an all-rounder in this. In fact, next time, Ravi, you start with VARC, don't show 2 marks. Make sure that that is also 99 percentile. Right. Otherwise, I'll going to make you, write only the
less than 95 in VARC in CAT. I was just attempting for the sake of attempting.
Right. We will do that. Okay. Gentlemen, it's been great pleasure with all of you talking on this, and all the students. Thank you for writing it. But every Saturday or a Sunday that we are going to come out with these mocks, don't miss writing the exams, and don't miss analyzing, going back and solving each and every question once again, including if it is RC, verbal ability also, like Jijo has said, para jumbles, para summary, odd para summary, and of course the ALR and quant. Thank you so much.
Sir, just one important announcement. The countdown CAT mocks that are starting from the next week, the last 12 mocks, will be conducted only in 2-day windows. That is Saturday and Sunday. It will be available only in 2-day windows. And the notification for that and the updated schedule has been uploaded on your aspiration accounts. You can check it there. You will find that every odd weekend there is a exam that is going to happen. And for all of these mocks, we will be doing detailed analysis, and we will be doing detailed video solutions to all of the mocks, and we will be doing 4 video attempts for the remaining 12 mocks to come.
And one thing is, if they miss it for good.
Yeah.
If it is a real CAT exam, will you miss it? You will not, right? So don't miss this one also. That's all I would say. Any last statements from Shivku?
Nothing. I think sack karo, जाके सो जाओ बस.
Jijo and GP, one sentence each before we say good night today.
Don't worry about the percentile. Just see which questions you could have solved correctly, and if you could not, why, and also try to find out where did you waste time in each of the 3 sections.
Right.
One last thing, all the people that you see in the screen are personally invested in your success.
Correct.
And personally invested in this process of this journey of countdowns. You will see us, just be with us in the journey, learn from us, and I'm sure that you guys will do well. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, all of you. Have a good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night. Bye.